Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and today in this video I'm going to read for you a book called This Used to Be Us by Renee Carlino. Let's go straight to where it starts from. It's a very interesting book. This Used to Be Us is a real and heartfelt portrayal of the roller coaster ride that is our time on this planet. It made me laugh. It made me weep. And it made me so grateful for each small moment of beauty in this life. This book will stay with me for a long time to come. That was Jill Santopolo, New York Times bestselling author of The Light We Lost. This Used to Be Us is a sharply penned, winchily funny, jabbingly poignant examination of a marriage in shambles. Well, for the people who have ever passed through a divorce, I guess you'll understand the whole situation in this book. So let's dive into the book and start up. Let's start reading the book. It has a few pages before you start, and this is page 1. I love you, I whisper to Dani. We're lying in bed. Her back is to me. I can tell by the rhythm of her breath that she is sleeping. It's early twilight. The room is bathed in just enough light for me to see the curve of her bare hip. I run my finger down her side. She shivers, so I pull her to my chest. She relaxes into me and makes a small, satisfied sound, but I'm sure she's asleep. Chet Baker is croning quietly from Dani's record player. In the corner, something about It's Always You. This was the first time I said I love you to her, and I was too much of a coward to say it while she was awake. I think I'm just testing the words on my lips. I already know it's true. It was a long day, but a beautiful one. After weeks of an uncharacteristic rain, we woke up this morning to blaring sunshine. The outdoors were calling. We hiked up to a waterfall at Eaton Canyon near Dani's apartment. It was maybe an hour or so into the hike when we had to climb down a steep, muddy hill. I got to the bottom first, then looked back at her lend a hand if she needed one. She was up to her calves in mud and struggling a tiny bit to navigate terrain, but still, she shot me the biggest smile. I thought instantly, oh my God, I love her. We came back to our apartment and have been lounging around the last few hours, mostly naked, talking about everything from our childhoods to our futures. There was a hint in her tone that I might be in her vision for the future. Nothing specific. I just whispered, I just wasn't excluded. We've been dating for a while. I know. I need to tell her. She stares, then relaxes again. I begin to doze off. It's morning now and Dani's up already. She's dressed and sitting at her desk with a cup of coffee, writing something on the Chet Baker album sleeve. Good morning. She looks back at me where I'm still lying in her bed. We slept for a while, 400 hours, she says, smiling. I chuckle at the exaggeration. What are you writing? It's personal. She winks. Maybe someday I'll let you read this. I love you everything about her. I love everything about her. The way she sees the world, the language she uses to describe things and feelings, her kindness, her quirkiness, her energy, her exaggerations, everything. I want to marry her, and I need to tell her I love her. We've been doing renovations on the house for what feels like forever, but I can't stop thinking about how beautiful it will be when it's finished. I'm proud we're doing it all on our own. After we got married and bought the house, we had less than $100 in the bank, but Alex was determined and so was I. The day the agent gave us the keys, Alex said to me, "We've got this, Dani. We'll figure it out and do it on our own." That's what I love about him. He just gets it done. Now we're almost there. We just scrapped the popcorn off the ceiling in the kitchen, and the walls started crumbling, so we had to pay for new drywall on a credit card. No money for a hotel or even a campsite, so I'm sleeping on a mattress in the garage. It's cold and dirty in here. I've pulled the string of my hoodie so only my eyes and nose are exposed, hoping my breath will warm me up. I'm in a sleeping bag on a dilapidated mattress on the floor of a garage built in 1908, but I just can't stop imagining the house completed and how happy we will be. So I'm still smiling, internally anyway. Alex is at the side door, about to come and get into bed. He's looking at me and smiling. "You are so cute," he says. "Such a trooper. Get your ass in here, I'm freezing." He looks to his left and casually walks behind where I'm lying, then hurriedly grabs a bucket. "What are you doing?" I ask. "Nothing." He sounds panicked. "Tell me." I'm looking back at him now. The bucket is on the floor upside down behind him. He's standing, his hands on his hips, looking a bit disheveled. "I'm about to get in there with you, so get ready." "What did you just do with the bucket?" "Nothing," he says. I start to get up to look at it. "No, Dani, don't." "What is it?" Now I'm panicked. "Is it a spider? What is it?" "No, it's not a spider." "Dani, just lie down. Tell me," I demand. "It's like a little June bug." "Liar. You use that name because it sounds cute, but I know it's not cute. And now my imagination is going wild. What is under there?" "It's a little roach. Why didn't you step on it if it's so little?" I start to get up. "Okay," he says. "It's a big roach. I'm going to get it out of here, okay?" I watch most of the spectacle. Imagine a man trying his damnedest to collect an apocalyptic-sized roach into a dustpan to then rehome it. "Are you kidding, Alex? Kill it? The thing is gigantic. It's had a long life. It's probably at least 2,000 years old." Deciding not to look, I bury my head into the covers and remind myself that living in the garage is only temporary. It's been a minute. I know he's gotten rid of it. He's bringing the record player in. He puts on Fleetwood Mac everywhere and starts to strip down to his boxers. I'm watching him and laughing inside. He's trying so hard to make this situation pleasant. He mouths the lyrics, "I wanna be with you everywhere," while simultaneously pointing at me. Once he's in bed, he says, "It's true, Dani. I want to be with you everywhere, even a roach-infested garage. I pack up. Infested? No, just one really old guy, and I put him out to pasture. Not funny, I say. He laughs, then pulls me onto his chest, wrapping his arms around me. I relax. I'm dozing off. Everything is exactly the way it should be. I need to remember to write a note on the Fleetwood Mac album sleeve that Alex wouldn't kill a cockroach, and then that I'm starting to think it's the sexiest thing ever. Page number 3. We're in bed. Dani rolls over to face me and has to lift her belly with her hands to shift her body to the other side. Today is her due date, our first child. Dani is beautiful, glowing, truly gorgeous, but her stomach is so huge, it has to be painful. Alex, she whispers. It's early and she's still groggy. She's wearing just a tank top that only covers half her belly and a pair of tattered floral underwear. It's adorable. I run my hand over her stomach and feel our baby cake. It's one of the best and oddest feelings in the world. Dani's all belly. It almost seems like the rest of her body is actually thinner, like the baby is taking everything she's got. If she didn't still have such a vibrant energy, I might actually be concerned. The baby moves and turns dramatically. It's hard not to think there is at least a 3-year-old in there. Yes, my love, I want to ask you something. Her eyes are still half closed. She maneuvers to get closer to me, to my ear. I can feel her breath. Now my mind is on other things. I think she's going to kiss my neck when she very quietly says, I think we should insulate the attic today. My eyes shoot open. What? Taking a deep breath, she sits up. This house is cold and the insulation sucks. We should go rent one of those machines that shoots insulation into the attic. How do you know about that? I saw it on an episode of This Old House. You can get it all at Home Depot. Dani is nesting at the moment. Quite literally, she wants to blow tons of insulation material into our attic, like an actual nest, and I can't tell her no. I think it's like a 2 or 3 man job. I say, man, she snaps. Person? I reply, a little exasperated. You know what I mean. You and I can do it, she urges. No, Dani, no way. You're not going up in the attic right now. She takes a deep breath and calms down. You go in the attic and I'll put the insulation into the machine outside. It runs through a big hose and you'll just shoot it all around up there. It's now afternoon and I cannot believe I agreed to this. But I knew Dani wouldn't take no for an answer. And honestly, how could I refuse? She is smiling as she stands in the side yard preparing to dump giant bells of insulation into the hopper machine down below. I'm watching her from the attic opening and through the kitchen window. She has the radio blaring. Eye of the tiger, and she's bobbing her head to the beat. She's ready. Go ahead. I yell and then prepare myself for the onslaught. The insulation comes shooting out with the force of a fire hose. It's not slowing down now. I'm about to knee high in the stuff. I wonder if Dani will ever stop throwing the balls in. Stop, I yell, but she keeps going. The music and sound of the machine are drowning me out. I finally set the hose down and go over to the opening. The hose is flailing around wildly. But I need to get her attention. She's covered in sweat and insulation particles and she's frantically cutting the bells open and tossing them in. I pause for a moment to take it all in. It's hilarious. She's so determined. Finally, I have to scream, Stop, Dani! She looks up, still smiling. Oh, sorry, she yells. When I get down from the attic, I check my phone and see there is a message from her neighbor, Carl. It says, Monica and I are very concerned, Alex. We see your wife across the street frantically throwing stuff around. Isn't she very pregnant? Wow. When I get I laugh to myself and reply, yes, today is her due date and she decided she wanted to insulate the attic. I love her so much. It's 4:32 in the morning and he's walking down the hall towards the stairs. I know the time without looking at the clock. The springtime light isn't yet piercing the horizon. There are no cars on the road. His will be the first. It's quiet out, but loud in my head, loud in this house. He's shifting his 170 pounds from one foot to another. Down the stairs, loudly. It feels intentional. He clears his throat. It feels intentional. I can hear him from the bed, far away in my bedroom. What used to be a bedroom? Our bed. No one is awake at this time in the morning. No one in this house. No one in this neighborhood. No one else in my life. He must know he's waking the whole house as he shuffles his feet across the travertine floors, down the hall, past the dining room, and into the kitchen, where he presses the button onto the coffee grinder. We're up now. You've made your point, asshole. This is how it has been for years. After 3,008 complaints, it hasn't occurred to him that he should grind the beans the night before. It's not evident to him that no one else in this house needs to be awake for another 3 hours. Not me, not our 12-year-old son, not our 13-year-old son, not even the dumb dog. After so many years of tolerating his inconsideration for the sake of marriage, it no longer feels like a sacrifice. It feels like a crime, one in which I'm victimizing myself by staying. In the last several years, there hasn't been a single morning I've woken up on my own, or even by an alarm I had set myself. No mornings lying naked, languid, exposed, wrapped up in a lover, wrapped up in him. I have entertained such phenomenon. I have revisited that life in my mind many times, the life I used to know. I shimmy out of my tattered sweats and t-shirt and dawn. I run my hands across the breast, my stomach. I feel what I might feel like to someone else, someone who isn't in such a hurry. I imagine a man being awestruck, telling me he doesn't want to leave. I remember that feeling, which is now so far away. He asked me to stay in bed. I imagine sleepy morning sex while listening to Chet Baker croon quietly from the speaker in the corner. Later, we amble directionless around the room until we are dressed, teeth brushed, strolling to the cafe, sharing a meal, drinking our coffee, kissing and saying goodbye. Realities I no longer experience. I'm alone. I feel the scars he calls marks, like they are tattoos chosen from a wall of the retail store of my youth. Drunken mistakes, a tramp stamp, as it is so terribly referred to. No, these are stretch marks from pregnancy, scars. 4 pregnancies in all, my 2 beautiful sons and a 2 horrific second trimester miscarriages I endured alone. My daughters, he doesn't see them every day the way I do. He doesn't even imagine the women they would have become. every time he looks at his own body in the mirror. The grass isn't greener, it's gravel on the other side. This is what I have told myself for years, and this is why I've stayed. But now my imagination has become too wild. The grass isn't greener, it's a vitamin-rich waterfall oasis with magical golden baby gods and Adonis angels feeding me calorie-free chocolate ice cream. It's Sunday and I'm awake at 4:45 in the morning, but I won't go downstairs until at least 7. I will not give him satisfaction of knowing he woke me up yet again. He's completely deaf in his left ear. According to the world-renowned audiologist, he saw his words, not mine. He can hear a mere 20% in his right ear, but it's enough, and it's why I automatically walk and sit and eat, instinctively move to a person's right side when interacting with him. Regardless of the oral apparatus capabilities, you evolve after 22 years of adjusting your frustration levels, speaking up, enunciating, shouting. How was your day? Eventually, you just move to the right side. I would think it contemptuous to be annoyed by his deafness if I didn't believe it was partially selective on my behalf. He seems to have much better hearing when anyone besides myself is speaking. It's that insolent wife joke about how obnoxious her voice is. I can't believe I used to laugh along to jokes like that, as if to say I'm too cool, too easygoing, to be offended by a joke about how women in general are annoying and my own voice is grating or off-putting. The voice I used to soothe our children night after night, the only voice that could soothe our children, is somehow raucous to Alex and to others. Is that what I'm supposed to believe? He had just gone deaf the year I met him and was monumentally struggling with his balance. Among other issues that present when your hearing in one ear suddenly goes out, it was an inner ear infection. The first world-renowned audiologist had said just before closing the book on Alexander, no amplification possible. He would have to get a cochlear implant, which at the time was a devastating idea, even to me. Yet now, after 22 years of people shouting at him, he still refuses to look into cochlear implants. Part of me thinks it could have saved our marriage. In the beginning, I pitied him, and I know it doesn't make sense to resent a person for pitying them. But it is possible. I tapped the screen on my phone. It's now 7:15 in the morning. Today is a big day, moving day. I realize I've been lying in bed awake, listening to the clanking, tinkering, shuffling, shifting for almost 3 years. In my head, I imagine making 3 tally marks on top of an old chalkboard. The screeching chalk in my mind coincides with the sound of Alexander slamming the vitamin cabinet above the trash can. He will take the trash out next, and when he does, he will lift the trash bag out and let the heavy plastic trash can liner slam back down into our overpriced Simple Human stainless steel trash can. It's made for the simple humans after all. I glance at the clock and add another tally. Add another tally mark to the chalkboard. The thousands of lines represent the hours I've wasted being unhappy. Regardless of how many aspects of my life are predictable to point of soul mothering boredom, one thing is ironically, predictably, unpredictably, and that's the fact that I never know when Alex is going to leave the house or return. Even though he wakes up at the same time every day, some days he says he has to be at work at 7 a.m. This is This is an interesting book, a very nice book about Dani and Alex, who were once happy, but they faced the most challenging moment of it all, separation and divorce. To many of you who have gone through separation and divorce, at least you know how it is, the toughest moment in life, especially when you have kids. Just in case you feel like you want to read more of this book, I've put out links, Amazon links into the description so that you can go check it out and see if it is something you would love to read. Thank you and have a blessed night.